After Kal-El escapes from Krypton, he arrives on Earth, where he is found and raised by the Kents as their own son in Smallville, Kansas. I've heard there's this TV series that focuses on Clark's time in Smallville, but I forget the name. Anyway, since this series spent so much time focusing on Clark's teenage years, it's really kind of unnecessary to show any of that in the movie. Birthright transitions right from the destruction of Krypton to Clark's adult years in a very cool way. Also, since the opening on Krypton will take a significant amount of time, it's probably best for pacing purposes to skip all the stuff with the Kents finding Clark and raising him. If we're following the Birthright path, there's still a little while before Clark becomes Superman. Birthright has this part of the story in which Clark, now a reporter traveling the world, has an experience with a fictional African tribe. Without getting into too much detail, this part of the story serves to help inspire Clark to learn more about his Kryptonian heritage and make a difference in the world. Personally, I thought it was really good, but I think it could be changed around a bit if necessary. After this, he returns to Smallville seeking to unearth his ship. Inside the ship is a data tablet from Jor-El storing the entire history of Krypton. There's some flexibility about how to handle this part. In Birthright, he's always had this tablet, but has only recently been able to access it and make it work. However, he's still unable to understand the information because it's all written in Kryptonese. In other incarnations, when he's shown the ship, he receives a message from Jor-El and Lara telling him who he is and about the fate of Krypton. In Superman the movie, when he goes to his ship, he finds a crystal that leads him to the Arctic and forms the Fortress of Solitude. I think a mixture of all these different versions would be best. Here's my basic idea of how it could go. Clark and his parents have tried examining the ship over the years, but have found nothing that has given them any answers about where Clark came from. He's ignored this for a while now and tried to put it to the back of his mind, but lately he's felt a strong desire to take another look at this ship. He looks all over it for some sort of button. He even tries placing his hand on the weird S-looking symbol that appears prominently on the front of the ship. Nothing. In frustration, he says, "Who am I?" The S starts to glow. Blinding white light fills the room. When he opens his eyes, he's not in the barn anymore. He's in some futuristic-looking room. All of a sudden, he hears a voice behind him. "Hello, son." There are a man and woman standing there. They explain to him everything that has happened and who he is. Jor-El tells him that he knows the yellow sun of Earth has given him great power, and that this power is his to figure out how to use properly. Clark is informed that he is the last son of Krypton, and possessor of all the knowledge of the once great civilization. To claim this knowledge, he must follow the ship. Clark sees that the image of the room is gone, and he is back in the barn. His ship starts to make a sound like it's warming up and takes off into the air without warning. Taken aback, Clark flies after it as fast as he can. The ship leads him to the Arctic and hovers over the ground. It opens up and a glowing sphere sinks into the ground. The ground starts to rumble, and the Fortress of Solitude emerges. Inside, he finds the data tablet in the center of the room. The tablet works the same way as Jor-El's message, and takes him directly into scenes from Krypton's history, answering any question he asks. Throughout the history of Krypton, the S symbol appears frequently. He finds out that this is the Kryptonian symbol for hope. He realizes that this is what he wants to represent. He wants to carry on the legacy of Krypton while bringing hope to the people of Earth. The Fortress creates the Superman costume, incorporating the symbol of hope and the colors of the House of El. He returns to Smallville to inform his parents about his decision. While in the costume, he doesn't like to wear a mask because he wants people to trust him. However, he still wants to have privacy in his life, so he uses a disguise. In Birthright, Martha comes up with the idea of having his human half wear the disguise. She dresses him in professional, nerdy attire that stands apart from his usual look. She also gives him prescription glasses and tells him that the lenses will kind of dull the color of his startlingly blue eyes, which would otherwise give him away. He learns to kind of act nerdier, clumsy, and kind of soften his voice, slouch, to distinguish this personality from the self-assertive, tall Superman personality, the name of which he doesn't have yet. His parents aren't exactly thrilled about his decision to present himself to the world. They know that people have a tendency to fear what they don't understand. Their greatest fear has always been that someone would take Clark away and lock him up in a lab doing experiments on him and treating him like he's some sort of creature. Nevertheless, they're proud of him and they support him. With his new dual identity, Clark sets out to Metropolis. This is where the fun really begins. I think this movie should be the story of Clark's self-discovery and finding his place in the world. I place a large emphasis on carrying on the legacy of Krypton. For this reason, taking inspiration from the opening movie of Superman the Animated Series, I would call the movie Superman, the Last Son of Krypton. Thank you for watching. In my next video I'm going to be talking about the conflict in the movie, so if you liked what you saw, please subscribe and tune in next time.